If you had the microphone to the universe, what would you tell the world?
Stop chasing, start being.
I heard a quote that said, we're not human doings, we're human beings.
AI is going to strip away your purpose for life.
1 year, COVID, laid off, lung tumor.
Yeah. A third of my right lung removed. And then the second I get out of the hospital, my father-in-law passes away.
How did you overcome those obstacles?
The biggest weapon that we have as humans is gratitude. And I don't think you really get gratitude without something shitty happening to you.
When did you come to the realization where you had to prioritize time over money?
Second I had a kid, man. I think you just have to create a business that gives you more time, not more money. Hustle culture is really cool until your kid stops asking to play with you.
What do you think is the biggest lesson you learned in the last 40 years?
Nothing.
What's your ultimate goal with this podcast?
I guess spread the awareness of my brand, Human Dad. And then also, I've been doing my round with podcasts, but I just think I've made it a mission really to, and I don't know if this will appeal to your audience, but that dads can be great dads, but also successful business owners. My whole content now is shifted to that, is like, you can be a great present father and an entrepreneur. You could do both. Instead of, I think sometimes there's this like misperception where you have to be, you have to work fucking 80 hours a week, and you have to, to be an entrepreneur, you got to fucking hustle and yeah. Ignore your kid now, but they'll thank you when they're 18. That's like the mentality that we grew up as, I think. But I'm trying to teach dads that, that's shifted and it's changed.
That is the culture when it comes to entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
That's right. Either you all in or you're not.
Right. Which is good to some extent, but.
Yeah. So I grew up from a single mom who was overworked, underpaid, worked 2 jobs. And that led me to find the streets.
Yeah.
As I got older and had a kid, I said I would never do what my mom did. She was a great mom.
Yeah.
She just wasn't that present because she had responsibilities.
Sure. And she's fucking doing it all on her own too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I followed the same pattern. And so I prioritized work, money, building this dream, and didn't spend enough time or the time that I should have with my child.
How old is your kid?
He's 21 now.
Now he's 21?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
He's older.
That's crazy. I feel like he was younger last time that we talked about.
Yeah.
Well, he was, but.
But that was a part of it, right?
Yeah.
So I had a kid at 15 years old.
Right. That's
because I was just running and gunning, following people that I should have not been following.
Sure.
And so my question to you is...
And not wrapping it up. That's...
Right?
That was probably the first mistake. Maybe not a mistake now, but,
Well, I didn't go to sex ed in
Sure. No one did. No one paid attention. Yeah. It's way better without one, by the way.
For sure. Yeah. So my question to you is, how does someone who is a parent find balance between parenthood and running a company?
I think you just have to create a business that gives you more time, not more money. When you think running a business on your own, most people don't think flexibility. And I could, go to my kid's baseball practice. They think more money, less problems, more yachts, bigger house. But if you can shift your business, whatever that is for you, to making more time, not making more money, those don't exist. You can't make a shit ton of money and have plenty of time. That doesn't exist. So you have to prioritize your life a little bit. And how I've done it is I could easily, and I have, turned down $250,000 jobs, but I would have 0 time with my kid. So, well, why don't I just take the $250,000? Then I could get a bigger house and my kid will be happier. No. They don't care about that. They just want you to be there. They don't care about the money or the yacht or the house. So I think that's the shift that I've taken. And that's not for everybody, but if you want to be a present father, that's what you got to do.
When did you come to the realization where you had to prioritize time over money?
Second I had a kid, man. I don't remember last time we spoke, but it was, I got laid off, but did I have that health scare?
Yeah, you should.
I think I just got done. I was recovering. Yeah. That was like the whole process where we were trying to have a kid.
Let's unpack it for the consumer, the person watching this.
Yeah.
In 1 year, COVID, laid off, lung tumor.
Yeah.
Life was kicking your ass.
Yeah. Didn't like me.
How did you overcome those obstacles, right? Because what's crazy is what I realized, this is my 3rd business in entrepreneurship. So too. And what I realize is the more you get laser focused on what you want, sometimes the things you don't want appear.
Yeah.
And so what was life like during that time where you were trying to build a business, but you was in corporate? You had a health scare.
Yeah.
At the same time, you was trying to have a baby.
Yeah.
What was your mindset? What was going through your mind, and how did you get to where you are today?
I think the biggest weapon that we have as humans is gratitude. And I don't think you really get gratitude without something shitty happening to you. Or in my case, multiple things happening to you. So when we're going through all this stuff with IUI and IVF and trying to get pregnant, and then I find out I have a tumor in my lung, and then like, hey, we got to remove a portion of your lung just to be safe, to make sure it's not cancerous because it doesn't grow back. A third of my right lung removed. And then the second I get out of the hospital, my father-in-law passes away. So my wife's not going to continue to try to do this IUI and IVF thing because she's distraught. I mean, her dad passed away. I can't even hug her because I'm destroyed on the right side of my body. So it's like at that point, then you start realizing, oh, no one at work is texting me. Like my friends don't care. There's a few, sure, but they got their own life to worry about. And that's, I think, when it really sinks in. When you go through all this stuff and you don't care about the house you have or the Netflix show that you're watching, or you don't care about any of that. You care about what's inside your four walls, your family, because that's all you have, especially during those times. And thankfully it wasn't, life-threatening, but if it was cancerous, we obviously might not even be here right now. So that's the gratitude that I needed, because then once we recovered and then we started going through the process again to have a child through IVF, thankfully the third one it took about 3 years and $250,000. But finally my wife went through all this to conceive our beautiful daughter. And the second she came out, that's when it really hit me. That was the gratitude, because a lot of people just have a kid just to have a kid. Or maybe they don't want to have a kid and they end up having a kid by accident.
Directly to me.
Present company excluded, but the idea of going through this entire process and getting something amazing at the end, that was the feeling I just can't describe, because everyone who's a parent knows that it's the greatest thing ever. But when you can't be a parent and everybody tells you that you're just never going to have a kid, and even if you go through all the steps and spend all this money, you still might not have a kid, but then we end up having one. It's like, and now it's everything to me. Everything I do on a daily basis, the amount of time or lack thereof that I spend on my phone, the level of indifference I have for my business is all because of my kid. I'm going to push a conference call. If my kid gets up from a nap, right? I'm going to say no to a couple $1,000s if my kid wants to play with magnet tiles. Sorry. Like, my business is going to be fine. And if it's not, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, if you ask anybody that is on their deathbed, I guarantee they didn't say, I wish I made it to that conference call. Man, I wish I showed up to that presentation. Man, I should have stayed a little bit later that day at work. No one says that. Every regret, and you can look it up, the 5 regrets that people have on their deathbed, more often than not, a vast majority of people say, I wish I spent more time with family. So don't be part of that statistic.
That's interesting. I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second.
Please.
It'll be hard to work with you as a business owner who has huge dreams and aspirations to build a massive business. So a collaboration, and you go tell me you fucking changing diapers and I need you to be on a Zoom call. How do you navigate through business?
I mean, I make sure that I don't work with clients that have that opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I come from working for corporate America and being pretty high up in the sales and marketing space in some Fortune 500 companies. And if I had employees that say the things I'm going to say, I would hate those people. Dare I say, do whatever I can ethically to make sure they're fired, right? I'm just in a different space. I mean, I'm 41 in a couple weeks. I have a kid. I've been in a situation where I didn't think I was going to live past 40. And that situation has really made me think that there's nothing really guaranteed in life, not your job, not how long you're going to be on this planet. And I think the more time we can have that gratitude and appreciate the time that we do have and really focus on what we want to do with the time we have, I think that's true happiness. And maybe it is working 80 hours a week. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, that's just not my journey. So the people that I work with and the clients that I have, it's all based around my schedule. And if that doesn't suit you, I'll go fuck off then,
How does this message apply to somebody who their life sucks? They're struggling mentally, physically. Yeah. They really want to start a business. They just live in a lot of fear. They don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
And one side, you're sharing that you should prioritize the things that actually matter in life.
Right.
Not the business, not the money, not the time, not the collaboration. But on the other hand, we're being pushed this message every single day. Every time we open up our phone, we're seeing a 16-year-old streaming, making $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
And so as human nature, we often compare ourselves to other people.
Totally.
So how can, again, someone who may be struggling just to take that first action, how can we help them?
Well, I think there's a lot to unpack. I mean, my stoic objective opinion would be put down your phone, because that thing is the most toxic thing on the planet. And I only say that for one reason only, is because it's disconnecting us from everything. You know, we've been fed this lie of social media. It's going to connect you from people all around the world, and you're going to be able to make relationships with people you've never even dreamed of. But then you realize that now that's your dating app too, and you're swiping right and left. And then you go out to a bar and you can't even talk to a girl because you haven't talked to a girl. You're doing everything via message on a dating app. And then we start to understand, oh, well, I'm scrolling and getting this hit of dopamine, and everything is so good on TikTok, and everything is so funny, and everyone's so talented. And then I go out in the real world and everyone's a dick. So screw the real world. I'm just going to hang out on my app. And now what's happening? Well, now you're getting desocialized. Now you're not able to have a conversation with someone like we are right now in person. Like, this is a crazy thought. If you sit down with someone next to a bar, a total stranger, and you try to talk to them, they don't know where to begin. They don't know how to speak to you. Well, now what's happening? Now your relationship with your spouse is getting affected. Now with your kids, that's getting affected. So all of that is not, it's not by chance. It's not by accident. It's intentional. And these apps that we're using, and this phone, this dopamine brick that we have in our pocket, the fact that we have that is making us so disconnected and so numb to the real world that it's destroying everything around us, including your life. The reason you're depressed is because you're looking at Kim Kardashian at the Met Gala looking beautiful. That's why you're depressed. But if you don't know she exists, you're going to be just fine, because your life is great, because you got a roof above your head and you got food on the table. That it's that gratitude that we always think the grass is greener on the other side, but you're not understanding how great this fucking life is. And that's the prompt. Put down the fucking phone, quit comparing yourself to other people, and you're going to be fine.
Did this gratitude mindset appear after?
Yeah. It takes a shitty event. I mean, here's a great example, a very dark example. You ready?
I'm ready.
How was the country on September 12th? It's the greatest place to live. I remember very specifically, right? When you get out and you're walking around or you're driving, right? I wasn't driving at the time, but you know, you're with a family, or you know, you're with your buddy and you're driving your car. People would let you in. You don't need to honk and say, "What the fuck, man? Let me in." People would just let you in. Hey, it's okay. Come on. Take your time. I'll be late to work. Someone spills a coffee on their lap. No big deal. That's what we needed.
Yeah.
But then September 18th, September 20th, well, now we forget sometimes. It's ironic that we say never forget, but we forget a lot, don't we? And I think that's, people got to check themselves when they have these circumstances. So, I mean, for me, it was the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I even get choked up sometimes thinking about it, because it's I don't know. I mean, do I wish I had more money and a bigger house? Yeah, sure, maybe, kind of. But I don't know. When you really think about it, like, what do you do on a daily basis that you need more shit? You know? And I think that's what we need. We need to have our eyes opened a little bit to those situations. Yeah.
I'm totally on board with what you're saying. As I get older, the things that used to excite me no longer excite me.
Right. Phases.
Yeah. But I do like the journey of building something. I like the mysterious putting the puzzles together, and that consumes the shit out of me.
Oh yeah.
I work probably 100 hours a week.
Yeah. I mean, you're working on building something, and now's the time to do it. Right? I mean, you don't have a newborn.
Yeah.
You know, now's the time to build. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I want to build something special too. I just think I'm not in a rush to do it. Hustle culture it's very cool.
I realize it's not so much of what you're building is the person that you become in the midst. So I want to ask you, like, who have you became in the midst of all these issues and becoming a dad and trying to build the businesses that you have now?
Man, I think I've become overall just a better person. You know, I don't know, it's kind of hard to quantify, but I mean, the easiest way, or the easiest thing I could say is I'm realizing that I need to put myself first.
And talk that shit.
And when you put yourself first and you focus on what you really love, like you said, everything else follows. And I think putting myself first and doing what I really want to do, which I'm doing now, has made me a better husband. It's made me a better father. It's made me a better friend. It's made me a better son. So I just think overall, I'm doing exactly what I want to do and what I want to continue to do. And if it scales, great. If it doesn't, great. Because I'm just doing what I love to do. There's a great quote that I love that I'm obsessed with. And it's, we always think it's the pursuit of happiness, but it's really the happiness in the pursuit. And if you're just enjoying the process, that's the key. It's like, what do they say? They say, it's not the journey, it's the destination. No, it's not even that. It's who you become during that process. Fuck the journey. The journey's stupid. It's who you're becoming. That's the key. It's like you don't go to the gym and you don't build self-esteem when you get the six-pack. You build self-esteem when you're going to the gym every day. It's the process to get to that. Because once you get the six-pack, you still don't have a self-esteem.
Yeah.
You need purpose still. That's why there's depressed billionaires. It's because as humans, we need to do something. We need some purpose in life. And whether that's philanthropy and you're doing something nice, maybe it's religion, maybe that's your purpose, but you have to have a good relationship with some sort of purpose. And sometimes within us, we always have this drive to do something more, which is why we're envious of a lot of people. But a lot of people just don't want to get disconnected from the device and do something on their own. And I think that's the downfall of humanity is we're relying on these things to do everything for us. Like we're becoming lazy and stupid.
Is that where humanity and hashtags come from?
Yeah, my podcast. That was the birth of it, I think. Like I've always had for years, I can remember, I've always had this like stoic human element to my content and just to my personality. And everyone always says it like even my email, instead of like sincerely Tony, it's always been have a good day human for decades. And I just think it's because if I'm struggling or if someone else is struggling or if like my wife needs comforting, I always kind of take a step back and just say, you're human. It's okay. Like, you're not going to have this figured out. Like if a doctor fucks up a surgery, like, okay, like they're only human. Like, what are you going to do? And I've always kind of had this mentality because we put so much pressure on people. Like if someone messes up your Starbucks order, you think they're a piece of shit. Like what, you've never messed up an order before? You've never messed something up? You've never spelled the wrong thing on paper? Like, what are we doing? Like we're making all this up. We have no idea what we're doing. Nobody, not even the best surgeons in the world, they're making this up as they go along. In fact, this conversation we're having, the words that we're spewing, every word was made up. We have no fucking idea what we're doing, but we have this entitlement through every aspect of our fucking lives that we're supposed to have this thing figured out. And I feel like if you just take a step back and realize that you're going to make so many mistakes, and that's such a beautiful thing. And you're only human, so chill the fuck out,
Dude, that's such a powerful message that you have.
Thanks, man. I wish I wrote it down so I could repeat it. I don't know. It's just like on the whim.
You can see it.
Okay, thanks. We'll watch it back and make sure. Yeah. All right.
Are you in a flow state right now?
I think so. Maybe it's because I'm intermittent fasting, and I've been doing that for weeks.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, I think when you and this, I think as well. But when you really find something that you're passionate about and you love doing it, like me, ever since I've met you and ever since I've done my own podcast and have my own business, I've always loved talking to people and having conversations. And I think having conversations on my podcast with other people that are way smarter than me to the day, that I've become more objective. My critical thinking skills have gotten way better. My conversation skills. I've become more intelligent, I feel like, than when I dropped out of college. Like I thought when I dropped out of college, I was too good for college. It's like, I don't need this. Okay. I can just read books and shit. This was back in 2003. And I realize now that it took me 20 years that, wow, the only thing I need to do is talk to people smarter than me. And I will learn so much more. And I've been doing that for years, not just through my business, but through my podcast and talking to people like yourself. It's just that puts me in the flow state of like being able to have conversations and talk to people. It just puts something in your mind that you can't even tap into until it's time to tap into it. And then you get in the groove. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's exactly why I started this podcast. Yeah. it was more selfishly. I wanted to leverage relationships, but I actually want to learn from people. I'm fascinated by people's stories and how they come to the conclusion like you did. Yeah. You had a health scare and it made you realize, well, the things that I actually focus on are not that important. This is what I actually should be focused on.
Yeah.
That is so cool, bro.
Thanks, man. Would you say that was your defining moment?
I had several defining moments. And what I like about defining moments, man, you can either learn from it or it can define you. For a long time, I let my moments define who I was.
Yeah.
I'm an overthinker.
Right.
I wasted 15 years of my life. I'm deaf. I'm not good enough. I don't belong in this space. Like the most stupidest shit possible. Right. I would think that, to the point that I would let my hair grow for 15 years because I didn't want people to see that I had a cochlear implant. Mm-hmm. I would avoid large rooms and groups because I was afraid that I would have to ask somebody what or to repeat themselves. How stupid is that?
Yeah.
And it only changed because one day I met somebody who went through the same exact situation that I did. The only difference is he accepted who he was much sooner. And the way he described his story with his aura, it gave me permission to say, fuck it all. Like none of this shit matters.
Yeah.
And from that day on, it was like a light bulb switch for me. Yeah. The things that don't matter, it won't even cross my mind at all. And so that's why I'm fascinated with stories. I think stories is the gateway to everything in life.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a lost art because of AI. And what is your perspective on AI and how fast things are moving in the world, man?
Nothing but downside. I mean, as a business owner, sure, it's great. If you're a business owner out there, you definitely should be using it. But, a lot of people I think that aren't scared of it are not scared of it because they keep telling themselves, well, when DVD came out, who cared about VHS? Oh, when TVs came out, who cared about radio? And the gurus will tell you that. But what they're not telling you is what's happening when mom and dad go to work and put the TV on for the kid when they're gone. And they make the TV the babysitter. That's when TV's bad. TV's not bad when you're watching with the family and you're laughing at Finding Nemo. TV's not bad. TV's bad when you're using it as a crutch to do something that you should be doing. And that's what happened in the 90s, right? That's why people were freaking out about TV. So the problem with AI is going to be something much darker and more crazier than what I just gave you as an example, because now you're using it to think for you. Now, instead of employing somebody, you're using a chatbot for free. That's learning. That's going to be way better than an employee. But now you have one less employee in the office that you can talk to. You need conversation. You need people. Like what's going to be the goal here? Everyone is going to be on universal basic income because no one's going to have a job in 50 years? Well, how are you going to have purpose? Have you ever been on vacation for more than 2 weeks? Like on a tropical island or something like that?
Not more than 2 weeks, no.
Why?
Bills, work.
Sure. What if everything could be paid for? Then what? Yeah. How many times are you going to sit on that beach every day with a margarita? When are you going to get sick of it? Week 5?
Yeah.
Week 10? Maybe 2 years. Okay, so what the fuck are we doing here then?
Yeah.
Just go walk into the ocean and take your own life. What's the point? Again, what is the purpose of life? And the problem is AI is going to strip away your purpose for life. If you're an artist right now and you're painting something absolutely beautiful in your garage and it's taking you weeks, AI can do it in a second. So why are you going to paint? Why don't you just have AI do it and then you could sell it? You're going to make so much money. It's going to be great. But now after a few years, you're not going to be able to paint anymore. You're going to forget how to paint. Okay, so what are you going to do? You love to paint. Now AI is taking your ability away to do something you love. What, to make more money? Okay, you get hit by a truck tomorrow. Now what? Now you spent years not doing what you love to do just to make a few bucks. So is AI great? Yes. Is it going to destroy our purpose and our life? Also yes. Both can be true. It's not like anything else we've ever encountered. Not fucking social media, not TV, not radio, not innovation, nothing is going to do exactly what this is going to do, which is literally take our purpose away. That's the problem. Anyway, this episode is sponsored by ChatGPT. Use the code. No, but I don't know. I mean, I think there's some great qualities to it, and I use it. But I think
That's an interesting perspective. You have very interesting perspectives.
Thanks.
You are the far right or far left.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm in the middle. Someone asked me who I vote for. I go, I don't know. How am I feeling that day? It's just.
Is this a compliment? You're such a dad.
I'm such a dad. Yeah, I think so. You know, but it's funny you bring that up because I do think a lot about this though.
And the reason I asked that, it just came to my mind. It's like, you're like a fucking cool ass dad.
Thanks, man. I hope I'll continue to be a cool dad. You know, but think about it. Like if you are a dad out there, think about this. This is an interesting thought experiment. If you are 60 years old and your kid's in college and your kid's having a blasty, right? They're hanging out with a bunch of friends and, you know, all your friends have grown up together and they've met you as the dad and now they're a little bit older. And then your kid does something with that group of friends and all those friends say, you're just like your dad. Now, what does that mean to you? Is that a compliment? Is that an insult? And I think about that a lot is when my kid gets older, eventually someone will say, you're just like your dad. And I've known friends that have had that said to them, and it's usually not good. You know, maybe you're a bit of an asshole and you say, oh, you're just like your father. Mm-hmm. My mother has said that to me many times. Mm-hmm. And my dad's not an asshole, but they're divorced. So of course they, you know, if you put them both in a room, they're going to hate each other, but you put them together and they're like, hey, what's going on? So that's just how divorced parents are. But yeah, I think about that a lot is like, if you are a dad out there, what is your kids' friends going to say about you?
Tell me about Human Dad.
So this was a brand that kind of came off, I mean, A, being a father, but also B, I always wanted to start an apparel brand. Like I've played around in the apparel space.
What is the hardest?
It's tough. Yeah, it's definitely hasn't been easy. The inception was about 2 years ago. My kid is almost 3 now, but I kind of came up with this idea because as a dad, especially in the newborn phase, you only wear like 3 shirts a week and they're always dirty. So I was like, it'd be cool if like I had my own apparel that I could just wear because I'm not going to buy any clothes because they just get ruined anyway. But I was like, how cool would it be to like have my own shirts and they had like motivational sayings on it and just something to keep me jazzed up as I'm changing blowouts and dealing with the kid screaming. And then I started kind of looking at the dad apparel space and there's a few great brands out there, some of which I bought prior to starting my own, but the messaging's kind of the same. I won't call anybody out because I think they're good quality hats and shirts, but it's always like cursive fonts and unintentional. But there's so many. There's like 4 that I can think of, and they're all the same. They all look the same. Like you couldn't tell the difference. If you're a mom, you wouldn't know the difference. Like, oh, it's the same company. It's not. They're all different. Different companies, same style. So I wanted something that's a little bit different, that's bold in your face, like our social media. It's edgy. We curse. We don't use high resolution cameras. I work with a bunch of dads that are just very down to earth, and you know they're not. They're just not about being perfect. You know, it's just about showing up, doing the work, and loving every minute of it. And I think that's what the space is missing. And the reason it's called Human Dad is pretty simple. Circles everything we're talking about is because I think if you as a dad are struggling, because you're going to, but if you're struggling and you just take a step back and say, hey, I'm only human, you know, like I worked too much this week and I couldn't play with my kid. It's okay. I'm doing my best. I'm only human. Just be there when you can, right? If you didn't show up to baseball practice, that's okay, dude. You're only human. Like show up to the next one. It's fine. Like, and just bringing ourselves down to that human level. And that's where we came out with Human Dad. So it's human first, dad always. It's just being there first as a human being, so good, and you know everything's gonna be fine.
But this is just like off topic.
Yeah.
So what my buddy's doing, bro, like it's never been done. Even the technology that he has in the health space, he's literally using AI into health. And so he has something called epigenetic hair testing.
Ooh.
It's literally pull a hair follicle. Yeah. It has 800 plus markers and tells you exactly what's wrong with your body. To where's inflammation, how are you waking up, how are your digestive system.
See, this is when AI is powerful. This is when it's important.
And he's licensed this product 10 years ago from Germany. So he's the only one in the US that has this. So I'm so excited.
That's going to be stout.
Yeah. So imagine, because Dude, every time I do blood tests, I'm perfectly fine. But I wake up sometimes feeling like shit.
Sure.
I went, maybe a few years ago, I went 8 days, 6 days without using a bathroom.
Wow.
I took laxatives, you name it. I had to go to the ER.
Stress.
Yeah. And then I used to drink a lot of fucking Hennessy, bro, and alcohol and drinking straight. I destroyed my inside.
Yeah, I stopped drinking 3 years ago.
Completely?
I haven't had a sip, yeah. Actually, I lied. We went to Italy and I had some wine. But yeah, that was it though. I mean, what? You're in fucking Italy. Yeah. The wine's different over there anyways. But yeah, any type of, I don't do anything anymore. It's way better. Like health-wise, I just feel better. You can sleep better, And also like having a kid and drinking, that's fucking psychotic. Yeah. That's psychotic. Not a kid your age, but like we have friends that are in the same group as us in terms of like age groups. They have 2-3 kids. We were out a few weeks ago and we're at this bar. Me and my wife aren't drinking. And again, not that there's anything wrong with that, but we're at a bar. We're the only sober ones. Okay. There's about 4 of the parents. Each one of them have minimum 2 kids. Some have 3 and 4. Okay. Every kid is running around. It took about a half hour. We look over and we see one of their kids playing with glass because I guess a glass cup, a pint, fell on the ground and broke. They're picking it up. What is this? They say. We had to look and say, hey, dude, your kid is picking up glass. It took 10 seconds, that response time, because they were so inebriated, to turn and look and and they go, hey, put that down. What are we doing? This is how we parent? This is crazy to me. And I just can't imagine like just drinking and trying to parent, because it's hard to drink, or it's really hard to parent sober. Like it's a difficult job, meaning even sober, let alone you throw me some booze, you throw me a blunt. Am I going to be a better parent or a worse parent? I don't know. Maybe you got some superpowers, but me, every time I'm fucked up, I'm fucked up. Like I can't drive a car. How am I supposed to parent a child that's running around like a maniac? Like it's fucking crazy. Like I got a Tasmanian devil for a child. Like there's no way I'm dealing with that thing on a buzz. You feel me?
That's what prompted you to go cold turkey? Wait, bro, I seen on the internet, maybe a clip or even a TV show. I can't remember where I seen this, but it was a while back where parents said they smoke because it makes them feel like they're more connected to their child.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's insane, right?
That's crazy. Yeah, you're definitely more connected, not to your kid, but maybe listen, getting high is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, there's no way you're connected to Mother Earth, or your weed sucks, because if you, you know what I mean? Like if you're connected to your kid, no, man, I want to be on a different planet when I'm smoking. Yeah, you know what I mean?
For sure.
I don't want to be around dealing with fucking mag tiles and little people.
Yeah.
What am I, playing with Barbies when I'm high? No, man, I want to be sitting on a couch like I'm on Mars. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're obviously not smoking the right shit. I don't know. To me, it's like also one of those things, same thing with the device, right? Like when I pick up a device and I look at TikTok, TikTok's awesome. Everybody on TikTok is hilarious and talented. It's so crazy. And it's curated for you, right? It's a for you page. It's not a for us page. Like if I was to share my page with you, you wouldn't find this shit funny. The stuff is made for me. It's made for Tony. And when I watch it, it's like I'm high. It's like I just took a big line of Coke and it's like the greatest thing in the world. And I'm staring at them like, this is so funny. These people are so great. And I'm addicted to it. Now, imagine your kid walks up and says, hey, daddy, can you play with me? This is too good. If I'm smoking a blunt and my kid comes, hey, daddy, can you play? Hold on. If I'm on my 5th beer, 6th beer, and I'm watching a football game, hey, daddy, can you play with me? This is better to you because you're inebriated. You're not in the moment. We're literally doing everything we can to get out of these moments. We're literally looking at the Met Gala because we wish we were there. We're following the Blake Lively trial because, oh my God, juicy, what's happening? Pick up the phone and call your mother. Talk to a friend you haven't talked to in a couple weeks. Maybe FaceTime a buddy that's dealing with some shit. That's important, bro. Yeah. Like, what are we doing? It's crazy to me.
There's a dad out there that wants to change, that he knows he's fucking up. He just can't take that first initial step.
Yeah.
What would you tell that person? You understand what I'm asking?
Yeah.
He knows, like, damn, I fucked up with my child. We really don't speak. I get home, I eat dinner, it's quiet in the house. I missed the game. I prioritize my work.
Yeah.
What would you tell that person?
Are you familiar with the happiness hypothesis?
Share with me.
So it's threefold. So number one is have a good relationship with yourself and others. Number two is have a good relationship with work. And number three is have good relationship with purpose. Breaking those down very simply for this dad, I would say, are you happy with yourself? Are you doing something that you like to do? Maybe that's a hobby. Maybe it's working out. Maybe it's, drawing, painting, video games, whatever. Are you happy on a daily basis? Not work. Are you happy doing what you do?
You got to define that, bro.
For me, I could only say what it is for me is I find joy in doing things like this, working out, having conversations with people. Like that's what I like to do. So when I don't do those things, I'm not happy. Forget everything else around me. Like if I was single, I would want to do that. You dig?
Yeah.
So I got to be happy with that. And then happiness with others. So I like what I'm doing. So now this is my hobby. I like to do it, whatever. But now am I happy with others? So do I get along with friends? Do I hang out with friends? Do I talk to people? Do I have good relationships? My wife, etc. Right? Am I happy with them? So if you could figure out that, that's step one. Happiness with yourself and happiness with others. That's a good step. Now combine that with work. So if this dad is unhappy, more often than not, it's probably work. I would say there's no bad fathers. There's overworked employees. Because if you are working as an employee and you don't like what you do, odds are when you clock out at 5 o'clock, from 5:01 p.m. to when you go to bed, you're miserable. And if you have a kid, if you have a wife, you're going to take that misery on them because misery loves company. So you're going to just hate life because you hated working from 9 to 5. So fix that shit. Okay. And again, this is the problem, right? Because your house is expensive. You like Netflix and HBO Max. It's expensive. You want the new iPhone. It's coming out. It's expensive. Okay. So either get a job that you like to do that pays you a lot or quit buying stupid shit. Save money. Downsize your life a little bit. Because I think if you'll have less money but enjoy your work. So that's number two. And then number three is purpose. I'm not a religious man, but if you are, that's a great avenue, I think. There's some great benefits to religion. Maybe it's philanthropy. Maybe you want to join Facebook group that you guys go out and clean up trash on the beach every day, like whatever. A purpose, like we talked about before, not having purpose is a disaster. That's a problem with this AI thing is if you're taking away purpose, then what are we doing here? So I think if you could find your purpose and you're happy with that and you have a good relationship with your purpose in life, you have a good relationship with work, and then you have a good relationship with yourself and others, that's how you become a great father and a great human being in general. But I think you cannot be a good CEO. You cannot be a good employee. You cannot be a good wife if you're not a good person yourself. And you have to figure out how to make yourself happy, and then everything else will follow.
You're a very positive person.
Oh, thanks, man. I think I've always been pretty optimistic, I think. But it's weird, though. Everyone says I'm not optimistic, but I think I am.
Why? Why did they say that?
My wife included, by the way, that I think I just share a very stoic, objective, non-emotional view on things. And maybe that appears to be pessimistic in some respect, which I guess could be kind of true. Like when someone asks me about AI and I say the same thing that I said to you, like, oh, you're such a pessimist. I'm like, well, not really. It's realistic thinking. There's nothing wrong with that. It's logical. But again, everyone wants to see.
Everyone's emotional.
Yeah. And everyone wants to see the great side of things. Like, everyone wants to look at Sam Altman and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and they want to say, these motherfuckers are going to take care of us one day. Like they are, right? Like you listen to like some of these clowns on podcasts and they're talking about like Sam Altman. He's like, one day it's going to be great because we're going to employ so many people and then eventually people won't have to work and there'll be so much money going around. Elon Musk is a big proponent of this where he's like, AI is going to do everything for us. So then eventually we'll have universal basic income. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah.
So then everyone won't have to work because the government will pay us. When the fuck in history has the government done anything for you? My wife right now is on unemployment. She had to jump through hoops to get $250 a week. And that's not even guaranteed for a long period of time. Oh, the government's giving you stamps for food. You know what those stamps are good for? Junk food, soda. If you're going to give me EBT stamps and you're going to take care of me as the government, maybe only allow me to use it on fresh produce. Maybe only allow me to use it to do something creative with my life. No, but instead you're feeding me a bunch of junk and bullshit and ultra processed BS so that way I can continue to be a slave to this government industry. So the government has never done anything to help us. So yeah, I'm very positive, but I'm also a realist in the sense of like every human being started off great. Something happened. Maybe it was your parents, maybe not. Maybe it was the coworkers that you're hanging out with. You know, maybe it's the TV you're watching. I don't know. But something happened. Everyone's making excuses and they're not taking accountability for themselves. And, you know, I think, again, some look at that as being pessimistic, but
I think there's a lot of merit to what you're saying. I just think we're, as humans, we're very biased to our situation, right? So if my situation sucks, what you're saying, I was like, fuck you. Fuck you talking about. You don't know shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned your wife got laid off.
Yeah.
Right? You just bluntly.
I don't know, we're 10 years toast.
Is that part of the revolution of AI? Was that caused because of that?
Oh, of course, you're not going to say that. No, you just we got to go our separate ways. That's the thing. No, but I think a lot of it has to do with that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at, I think it was Disney who did, was it 10,000 jobs they've laid off? Amazon's laying off workers like crazy. I'm getting more drones flying over my house than delivery trucks now. Amazon drones.
Really?
It's big in our area where, I mean, literally you can count it every 7 to 10 minutes. There's a drone that flies over my neighborhood and they deliver packages on a drone now. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. There's going to be less drivers. And I kind of look at this thing where it's just this evolutionary thing that we're going through, and it's so rapid and it's so terrifying that I was thinking about this the other day, where imagine what we had to do to get food, you and I, as Neanderthals, as Homo sapiens, as cavemen, what we had to do to get food, hunters and gatherers, right? Go back to that. That's not that long ago, by the way. Okay, even go back 200 years ago. It's not that long ago. It's 2 people. It's my great-grandmother, 2 people ago. What we had to do to get food. Some people fighting and scratching to get food. Now you open up this freaking dopamine brick, you press a button, and you get something delivered to your house, to your front door. Not even a knock and open a door. Remember the time where you used to, pizza's here, you open the door, you tip the driver, you make a little fun joke about their stupid hat, you have fun. Whoa, what game you watching? Oh, we're watching the Dolphins play. Oh, cool, man, that's funny. I'm going to watch them play. All right, see you, man. Hey, thanks for coming by. We don't even do that shit anymore. And that was 20 years ago. Now these fuckers just drop off the food in front of our doorstep and give us a notification saying the food's ready. Hi, at an inflated price, by the way. There's a charge to communicate less with somebody. What are we doing? This is crazy. And it's not that long ago. So I think, yes, it was AI, but it's also just, I think, where we're headed, man, where it's like, we're getting to the point to where all these companies are literally finding cuts to figure out how we can eliminate human beings from our work to make more money. Because again, I go back, there's never been a time in history where a corporation says, you know what? People over money. Give me one instance. Not even charities. You know the state that spends the most on homeless?
California?
Yeah. You know who has the largest homeless population in the country?
California?
You know who spends the most on healthcare in the entire world? What country?
The U.S.?
You know who has the most
This is fucking
This is fucking crazy. What are we doing, man? It's wild, and the fact that people don't think about this more and more. It's just crazy. So no company, no corporation, no state cares about you. It's all about how we can do the most and make the most without you. That's the thing.
There's going to be a lot of billionaires who emerge from this AI.
Sure.
Come up. But there's going to be a lot of depressed people.
Yeah.
And a lot of drugs and pharma being ahead of the curve and humanity and hashtags. Mm-hmm. You speak a lot about health.
Yeah.
Why so?
Again, I've always kind of had like a passion for fitness and health, but I think as I've gotten older, I've realized that if you're not focusing on your health, it's not about how long you're going to live. It's about the time that you have while you're living.
The quality
of life. Yeah. It's not, again, are you going to live till 80? Maybe, sure. But when you are 80, how are you going to feel? Well, that all dictates on how you act during your 40s and what you do during your 50s and how much you train in your 60s. Like this is all cumulative. Like the more shit you do now that's good for you in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, not the longer you'll live. Fuck that, because that's not guaranteed. But the better you're going to feel as you get older, as you go through this wild life that you have the fucking privilege of being in. The only way you're going to be able to feel as good as you want for as long as you want is if you take care of your body today, not tomorrow, today. So whatever that means for you. And we talk a lot about that on my podcast, where it's not necessarily about working out or lifting up weights. It's, are you going outside and you're putting your feet to the ground and you're touching grass and you're letting the sun hit your face, right? Are you playing outside more with your kid versus playing video games more? Both are fun, both can be productive, but what is going to be long-term more beneficial? The answer is going outside, because again, I'm no scientist, but the more the sun hits your face, it's going to help your circadian rhythm, which means you're literally going to be able to sleep better at the end of the night. So that's always one thing that I find fascinating, where you wake up in the morning and when the sun hits your face, it literally tells your body, okay, bro, now the clock starts. It's going to be this cycle, 10 to 12 hours. We're going to get ready for bed. So if you stay in your room and you don't see the sun in the morning, I guarantee you're a late sleeper and you go to sleep at night, because you're not seeing the sun in the morning. It's your body's way of saying, hey, good morning. How are you? Welcome. Now let's start the clock. And in about 10 to 12 hours, I'm going to release melatonin in your body. And that way you can actually go to sleep when it's nighttime out. So I think these little things that I didn't know about, I've always been fascinated about health and wellness. But the more I talk to experts on my podcast, the more I'm just infatuated with how we can live longer, how we can be happier, and how we could be more productive. And that's what we dive into.
I'm learning a lot about health right now.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of health specialists, people that...
And how old are you?
38.
38, yeah. So you're there.
I want to ask you this question. Did your body change when you hit 40?
Yes.
So the Kevin Hart stand-up, it's true?
Oh, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure it's hilarious.
He was just basically explaining that when you hit 40, literally from 39 to 40, everything changes. You wake up, your joints hurt. How you use the bathroom, you can sneeze and your back blows
everything.
out.
Oh, dude, even just sitting on a toilet and taking a nice peaceful shit. You get on there for 90 seconds and you get up and your knees are falling asleep and you got these indentions in your arm because you're probably scrolling on your phone and you just have this ache and you're like, why is this so uncomfortable for me? No, I think one thing, especially when I turned 35 after this, the surgery and all this stuff happened with my lung, it's that's when I really started to ramp up my fitness. And I do a lot of contrast therapy and, it's cold plunging and sauna and things like that. And I work out at least 5 times a week, something. It's not always weights. Sometimes it might be just hitting the bag or something like that, but I'll do that for 10, 15 minutes. But I'm doing more now, way more now than I did in my 20s and 30s. Because a lot of people don't know, especially for men, women too, but you're going to peak testosterone wise, 25, 27. That's your peak. So that's you're in your prime, and testosterone is a big reason for everything that's going on in your body. That's in a positive anyway. So the reason you sleep good is because you have good testosterone. The reason you're able to build muscle, good testosterone. So that's everything, right? And that starts to drop, especially when you hit 30. So now everything's going to be affected. You won't be able to build muscle. Even if you work out all the time, you can't build muscle. So then what can we do with that? Well, now you have to train even harder. Now you have to eat better. Now you have to drink less, because if you drink more, well, now are you going to have the energy to work out the next day? Probably not. So now you have to rethink everything versus when I was 20 and I was a personal trainer at a health club, I used to go out on bingers 2 nights in a row, 3 hours of sleep. I'd wake up the next day, 5 a.m. I'd be ready to rock and roll. I'd work out. And this was not when energy drinks were a thing. I'd work out, I'd have a blast. I'd literally eat whatever I wanted to, did Taco Bell at night, and I looked amazing.
Old days.
Now it's I have a piece of chocolate cake and my ass jiggles for 2 weeks, and not in a good way. So it's things start to change, bro. It's gnarly. Yeah. And I'm terrified of 50 because shit's starting to break down now. I had 4 moles removed the other day. I'm waiting on the results, fingers crossed. But it's not I went to go. It's not I went to go to get them removed. You understand? I went there, was hey, doc, how are you? Just here for my yearly checkup. He's we got some bad news for you. You got to remove 4 moles. Okay. We got to see if they're cancerous. And I was what are the odds? He's at your age, pretty high. I was Jesus. And that's when it hits you. It's okay, when I'm 50, what's going to happen?
Does that happen to your subconscious? Does that make you fearful or more appreciative?
More appreciative.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it used to make me more fearful, but I forget who it was. I think it was Mark Twain that said this. I'm not sure. I might have to fact check myself, but the universe has been around for billions of years, and I'm 40 now. Before I was here, the universe was fine, and when I'm gone, it's going to be fine too. But within these years that I have on this amazing planet that we are living on, that's it. Whatever happens before and after is irrelevant. because what's happening now, that's what you actually are in. You know, we can always continue to worry about the past and the future and what's going to happen and all that. Yeah, that's great. What if nothing happens? Now you're spending your whole life chasing a what if. It's too much bandwidth. You don't need to worry about that stuff. Worry about what's happening now.
What do you want to be remembered by? Or how do you want to be remembered? You said we have such a small amount of time, but it's a lifetime.
Yeah.
It's a lifetime. Does it feel like things are getting faster? Like,
yeah, man, it feels like
weeks are turning into days.
For real. Yeah. And they're shorter. Days are shorter.
Life is colder.
For real. For real. It's kind of deep when you think about it, because I mean, I remember when, like, you know, when I was in my 20s, it felt like, you know, we're out, we're partying, we're having a good time. And then we look at our clock and it's only been an hour. Yeah. Like, bro, there's so much time left. Like, where are we going to go now? Are we going to go to this bar again? We were here earlier today. Okay. But now it's like, I get done with work and I'm like, damn, dude, I got to put my kid down for bed. And then I go to bed. And then, oh shit, I wake up. I got to do this all over again. Like, what happened to the day? And yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with, maybe it's your subconscious. Maybe you
on autopilot.
Yeah, it's
going through the day.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to do with, like, just our brains. They're not fully developed until we're 25, 30 anyway. So, you know, it gets to the point to where you don't really have memories. I think your brain, I don't know this, but it just sounds smart, but I think your brain has so much bandwidth, right? Like, it can only hold so much memory if it's a computer.
Yeah.
So I don't remember what happened when I was 5 at that one place. I barely remember what happened last week. And I think it's as you get older, maybe your brain is just not deleting, but storing these memories away.
Closing tabs.
Yeah, it's closing tabs, because it's like, you don't have a lot of fucking time left. So let's make the memories now, you know?
How do you want to be remembered?
That I had a life of purpose and I made everyone happy around me. That's my key. Whatever that means, you know? And I think it's going to change over time when that day happens. But I think about that a lot, especially if something does happen and this book is closed. Well, you can't really make amends. It's done. You know, like, if you're a man or woman of worship, that's great. But if you commit sin, you could just go and give your confessions, right? Okay. Well, what if you commit sin and then you die the next day without giving? So I kind of look at, like, every day, it's like, just live your best life, do whatever you can to make everyone around you happy. And hopefully you're in this thing for the long run, you know? But if you're not, at least you can go down knowing you did everything you could to be positive.
What do you think is the biggest lesson you learned in the last 40 years of just living?
Nothing's guaranteed. Not your relationship, not your wife, not your husband, not your kids, not your work. Nothing's guaranteed. So, you know, control what you can control. That's all you can do, you know? And I think that hopefully will give some people a little relief, because we always kind of have this, like, perception of, I'm going to do this and I'm going to have this goal and I'm going to do that and I'm going to get here and I'm going to do this. Yeah, and all that way of thinking is fantastic. But if it doesn't happen, well, now you're depressed, aren't you? You spent all this time working so hard, right? And then what relationships did you fuck up along the way to reach that? So what about just focus on the relationships? Focus on the moment. Don't focus on the 5-year goal. You know, and one of my favorite things that I always say is, hustle culture is really cool until your kid stops asking to play with you. So, like, as a dad, I think about that a ton. But I could really work my ass off and I could make so much money. But isn't it just cool just to play with your kid today? You know?
I wish I could go back in time, bro.
Why is that?
I heard this.
Yeah.
Because I'm the person that should have listened to this 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I prioritized everything. And I was a single dad. I've had full custody of my son from 10 to 18.
Oof. Yeah.
To the point where he even worked for me.
Wow. At least you got something out of it.
Yeah. But still,
yeah,
there were certain things that I should have done that made him feel like I was more present.
Of course.
Even today, that bites at me a lot. That's one thing that I regret. I prioritize everything except really building that relationship. Yeah. So that when people say, you're just like your dad, he's proud to hear that.
Yeah, man.
So.
And, you know, listen, he's never going to be too old to not focus on it, right? And, you know, I think that's the powerful thing about not just conversations like this, but just in general. I think I've learned so much from other people too, where Like I wouldn't have this way of thinking if A, I didn't deal with a bunch of shit, but also B, just talking to a lot of great people, not just my dad and not just like other fathers, but seeing what people suck at, I think is powerful too. Yeah. Right? Like seeing other fathers that aren't that good at being fathers. And I'm like, you know what? No shade on you. You're doing everything you think is right. But I don't know. I think I want to try it this way. Like, what's the worst that happens? Okay, so we don't have a lot of money. I think if you lay out 100 people that have both parents in the household and they're happy, 100 people, 99 of them, I think, wouldn't care about the money. They just want mom and dad there, right? They just want everyone to show up at the baseball game. They just want, right? They don't care about the fucking big house and all the toys and all that. Like, again, all that stuff is cool, man. Toys are cool, but your kids just want you. That's it. They don't even know what a toy is. Like my kid the other day was playing with a box outside. You know what that box was? It was a toy that I bought her. She wasn't even playing with the toy. She was playing with the box. Light bulb moment for me. You know, eventually they're going to have their own money. They're going to do their own thing. But until then, just relax. Don't stress out about giving them the world when they don't want the world. They just want mom and dad.
Your message is so important.
Thanks, man.
Where are you sharing this message?
On social. I try to create a lot of fun, entertaining, engaging, and educational content around being a father and a business owner, because those are two things that I'm passionate about. And really just teaching dads not just to be present dads, but also if you're a business owner, teaching you to be a great business owner, a successful business owner, as well as a present father. So both can be true. And I think, you know, it's a beautiful time in 2026 that we're able to do these things. 50 years ago, we wouldn't be having this conversation, but I think now it is very beautiful that we can do it. We just have to kind of shift our way of thinking. So social media at the Berardo, or, you know, you could check out my apparel company, humandad.com.
How did you become so successful in doing what you do? Living a life of purpose.
When I became a father, that's what did it for me. That's the success, because that shifted everything for me. Like, so when people think success, they think business and money and all that. But success for me was the end game that we got to have a kid, because it was so difficult for us. And then now that we're here, that's like, I'm good. The bar's high. It's tapped out. And no company can come in and offer me money and say, hey, buddy, you want to do this? I'm good. It's going to keep me away from my daughter? Okay, I'm good. Thanks. So that to me is success, being a father.
Was that a dream that you had since?
No. I actually told myself I was purposely avoiding being a father.
Why?
I don't know. I think I was sucking the success tit, you know, the hustle culture tit. Like I wanted to just do my own thing and have my own shit going on. And I wanted to sleep around and I wanted to party and I wanted to just have a good time and enjoy life and get a yacht and all the bullshit. And then when I married my now wife and she really wanted a kid, I was trying to talk her out of it unsuccessfully. And then we couldn't have a kid. We couldn't conceive for whatever reason. We were both fine, but we just went to get tested and they just said, hey, for whatever reason, it's not matching. And I was like, okay, good. Dodge that bullet. And then we went through the whole process and still, it was expensive. $250,000 3 years later. My wife's dealing with all these struggles with IVF, emotionally, obviously physically. She's distraught. We're looking at negative pregnancy tests every month. We're looking at these things. Still, I was like, I don't want to be a father. Then we got the call, because after 3 IUIs and 2 IVF treatments, you don't get a pregnancy test. They call you because they have to do blood work after 2 weeks of doing an implantation. So we get the call and I answer it. And he goes, you guys sitting down? And we're like, oh, because we've heard no so many times. So we're kind of preparing ourselves. I hold my wife's hand and they go, you're pregnant. And we both started bawling. I hung up the phone, hugged my wife. That's it. Everything changed. That was it. Everything shifted for me. Like I don't know. I can't explain it. Everything changed. It's like my left and right brain weren't working together. And then when that call happened, it's like, it's about to go. It's like, now I know my purpose. Now I know what I want to do. Yeah.
So the whole time you were avoiding that one thing that helped you.
Yeah. And I think if there is a God, his funniest trick is he's never going to be able to instill what it's like being a parent to people that aren't parents. See, because you and I, we're parents now, but we know what it's like to not be parents.
Sure.
But people that never have kids, you're never going to know what it's like to have kids. So if you choose not to have kids, which nothing wrong with that, but that's his biggest trick, is because it is the fucking greatest thing on the planet. You're literally raising like this little human to be a functioning person in society, which is very difficult. But to watch them do these little baby steps and to see you and your spouse in that little person, powerful.
What would you say to the couple who's trying and can't?
Don't let it affect you. You know, we made the mistake, I think, unintentionally of making it affect our relationship. You know, it became a job at some point where we're being
Clock
intimate.
in, clock out.
Yeah, we're being intimate with each other because we wanted a kid. And that alone, for whatever reason, the universe says you're not going to have a kid specifically now, you know? And I think that now we've, thank goodness, you know, reconciled that. But we're at a point where it was like very difficult to become intimate with each other because we kept getting so infatuated with like wanting to have a kid and not getting the news we wanted to. So it was hurting the relationship a lot, and we struggled emotionally. So I would just say, even if you have a kid or don't have a kid, doesn't matter. It's only you two. That's it. So me and my wife check ourselves all the time. You know, when we try to play team kid, when we want to be on her side because we want the attention, right? We want our kid to like us. No, fuck that. Because when the kid leaves, it's just you two again, man. So don't fuck that relationship up. And I'm a kid of divorce. I've seen it firsthand. So focus on yourself first. The two is, you're the most important thing, not your kid. Fun fact from a guy that's talking about his kids so much. It's you two that are the most important thing, because if your relationship is fucked, now you've destroyed that kid's life. So focus on yourself first, be good, you know, husband and wife, and then you could be good parents.
If you had the microphone to the universe, what would you tell the world?
Stop chasing, start being. I think we're getting so caught up in chasing what we want that we're forgetting everything around us that we already have. You know, Jimmy Carr said something beautiful and profound that I think about a lot is 100 years ago, no one had a hot shower. How many times do you take a hot shower and not even just take a couple seconds and just say, this is amazing? You're chasing too much, man. Just be in the moment. You got a lot going on. Everything's great. Just stop chasing, start being.
I heard a quote recently that said, we're not human doings, we're human beings. Just be. And so that kind of resonates with what you just said right now. And I find
that's great.
Fascinating. True that this culture has impregnated us with this idea that we have to be in a constant chase or a constant pursuit to goal.
Yeah.
And I want to say thank you, bro, because this is a reminder of finding my purpose and being more still. And there are some cool people like you in the world that's doing tremendous work, that's not following the norms of society. And what you do is for the greater good, not for the selfish of trying to just gain.
Thank you, man.
And so thank you, bro.
I appreciate you.